Hi, I'm Cierra Nelson, and I'm going to talk a little bit about body position going into your barrels. For me, knowing the rider that I am, I like a little more push style horse. I like to be able to ride the horse all the way up into the turn and ask them to be round around me and around the barrel, kind of keep their face in one spot and have their body move around their face like that. When I make my runs, I try not necessarily to find something on the wall to focus on to ride at, but if I'm coming into my second barrel and I'm running, if you set back here and you ask your horse to turn, you take your saddle horn, and this is the angle that you get. Your horse's body is facing that way, when your horse's body should still be facing that way. So when I go into a turn, I like my horse to stay a little more square. So I like to have even pressure in both reins. So if I'm making my run, I'm running into the second, I've got pretty even weight distribution on both reins. I want to be able to just drop and my horse just bend around my hand. And I want to be able to pick that outside rein back up if I'm, just walking or whatever it is I'm doing, and then be able to stop because I pick up my rein and I've got even weight on both sides. I've never been a really big person on riding with my legs. I've got really short legs, so it's really hard for me when I go into a barrel to stick them with a foot and ask them to turn around my foot, because then I feel like I drag my reins across their neck, and I feel like I've got more outside rein pressure than I do inside. So for me personally, I've noticed myself have more success on a horse that I can ride square up into it, drop, and ask with my inside hand. Still have just a little pressure on my outside rein, but not very much. And ask them to turn the barrel. And it's big too, if you drive, you know that, well, your hands will go where your eyes will go. So if you're driving and you're like, oh, look at that sign, this hand's naturally going to follow the rest of your body. So something I try to tell people is, if you're going into the second barrel and you're trying to finish it better and your horse has just been pulling off of a step, but you notice in your videos that maybe you're not looking up as soon as you should look up. And I'm not saying, when you get to this spot at your second barrel, you should look over your shoulder. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, when I get to right here and I'm asking them to turn, I want to be with them, and when I leave, I want to be looking where I want to go next. Because, like I'd said, your hands are going to follow where your eyes are going to go. So even going this way, if I've asked them at this first barrel to turn, and I'm going to the second barrel, I want to be up with them when I leave it and driving them to their next barrel. And just like over there, I want to be able to stay square. I want to be able to drop, and I want to be able to look at my next spot and see where I want them to go next. And I feel like that's something that maybe gets skipped over just a little bit, is your hands following what your eyes are doing.